eloquent speaking ability, very talented, and so forth. But I think with the right political candidate, Glenn, in 2008, he could have been defeated. I don't think there's think there's any reason to be afraid here. There's no reason to be intimidated. He's just a man puts his pants on one leg at a time, like Hillary does. It's no reason to get all intimidated and think all is lost.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that, Rush. I think the problem with the last election was America had to choose between two progressives. I mean, any man who says Teddy Roosevelt is his idol and answers questions the way John McCain does. John McCain is a progressive. The problem with the Republican Party is not that it's too conservative. The problem with the Republican Party is it doesn't even know what it is except progressive light. It's got to be for small government. And right now, I haven't seen that. Have you seen a turning point with the Republicans at all that they understand that?
No, and you were talking about California and the vote at the top of the program. This is why I officially resigned yesterday as the titular head of the Republican Party. I didn't seek the job; it was anointed to me. I was given the job by the Obama White House and the media. Republican Party, conservative intellectuals, Republican Party intellectuals with blue blood country club Rockefeller types, for the last year and a half, 2 years, have been trying to reorganize the party under the premise that the era of Reagan is over. When it comes to tax cuts, no, that's old. The tax cuts don't relate to what's happening in 2009. And plus, we got to get rid of these social conservatives. We got to get rid of the social issues. We're never going to win elections. The truth is that the country club blue blood Rockefeller types never won anything. It was the Reagan coalition of all these people the Republican Party's trying to kick out that finally was able to win landslide elections. The blueprint's there. The Republican Party is rejecting it. This vote in California yesterday, it was. You described it accurately. Even on the low turnout, it was still a nuclear blast, political nuclear blast. And it sends a message to politicians. Okay, here's a way to contrast yourself with Obama. We're in debt $11 trillion. Here is a way. People are fed up. They know what the future holds for their children and grandchildren. But, Glenn, if there isn't a Republican Party that is willing to pick up the action and what happened in California yesterday and run with it, then it may as well not have happened.
You're exactly right. There's right now, you know what, Rush, when people say, what can I do? I can't tell you of a person that I could look in the eye, well, maybe a couple people that I think are Republicans that are serving, that I know would say, we're going to do what Reagan wanted to do. We're going to cut all of these departments of education. We're just cutting them. They're too big. It's too bloated. That's not what this government was supposed to be. And I tell you, they keep making the argument that if you vote for a conservative, oh, well, we're going to round up all of the unwed mothers and throw them in furnaces or whatever it is. That's not what this movement is about at all. You're right on the social aspect. What this movement is about is they are destroying our children's future. Look, I don't care what you do in your own bedroom. We won't have a bedroom left anymore. We're all going to be living in Hooverville or Obamaville if we don't stop this spending.
Yeah, it really, I'd say that the way to go about this, I think, the one thing that's never going to go out of style in this country, the one thing that has distinguished the human beings that live in this country versus the human beings in all time throughout human history and the rest of the world is freedom. The reason we're the greatest country in the history of humanity in less than 300 years is simple freedom. The freedom and the ability of human beings to maximize potential desire was granted by virtue of our founding documents to people born in this country. And what's happening with this expansion of government and the incursion of the private sector by the federal government is loss of liberty. And so the way back here is to remind people of what made the country great, what is their birthright, what is the natural yearning of their spirit. Their human spirit is freedom, not to be confined, not to be treated like sheep, not to go along with the tug of popular culture, but to be independent, be self-reliant, promote your own self-interest, which helps everybody in your family and your neighborhood. Freedom is the key here. But I think, I don't mean to trash conservatives in Washington when I talk about Republicans. I'm talking about progressive Republicans who talked about somebody's going to surface at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, it will. it hasn't happened now. And the thing in California just represents a great opportunity for somebody to seize it,
Rush,
who is in Republican electoral politics, and run with this. And that thing in California, that's all about people are tired of losing their freedom, paying higher taxes to fund a bloated, inefficient, wasteful government that's not getting anything done that people are elected for. The only responsibility that the people of California have for this mess is that they keep electing the people that make it.
Rush, will you help me out on this? Because you always get thrown under the bus that, well, you know, where were you when George Bush was spending, et cetera, et cetera. Address, because I have to tell you, the Republican Party doesn't get it. You just said, echoed again what I was saying about the progressive Republicans. George Bush, this compassionate conservative movement has got to die a violent death.
Yeah, Glenn, let me tell you something. I don't mind people asking me that question. Where were you with all the spending? I remember, I don't want to mention any names. I was getting phone calls from people in the White House angry because I was opposed to every attempt they made to do amnesty. I was opposed to the Medicare expansion.
Yep.
I got Tom DeLay called me mad as he could be. What do you mean this is good? We're good in the private sector. I said, no, it's an entitlement, and Republicans don't do that. I wasn't alone in complaining about some of the spending, but the elected Republicans, here's the problem with it. When you're a Republican and your president is a Republican, you have to go along with him. If you break from him, then you've got party disunity and so forth. The Republicans in the House, I think they were in a no-win situation with some of the spending the Bush administration was doing in opposing it, because they're charged with carrying his agenda forward, such as DeLay to this day thinks that the Medicare entitlement's a great thing. I don't mean to be critical of him, but I don't think that's a big obstacle to overcome. Even with all the Bush spending, Obama has obliterated whatever Bush spending was. To say that we didn't oppose Bush even though we did on spending disqualifies us from opposing this outrage is nonsense. Too many Republicans are allowing themselves to be intimidated to silence by a dominant media culture and a Washington political class that wants to achieve just that.
Rush, I can't thank you enough for being on the program. I appreciate it, sir. You are a legend. It was honored to write your most influential piece in Time magazine. I thank you. We'll talk again. Back in a second.